another video in the RPM video challenge that I'm doing for RPM 2020. Today's prompt, it's day 12. And the day's prompt is, what is the best gig or most memorable gig you've ever been to? One or the other or both if they're different. I've been to a ton of gigs. I don't know if I could name one as the best. I might put David Bowie in there sometime after Earthling as the best, but the most memorable for sure was seeing Babyland perform. They were performing at Gilman in Berkeley, which is a little all-ages punk club. Listening to them on a CD did not prepare me for the experience of the concert, which was like sort of a sensory assault, which is, I would say, appropriate for a band that is essentially industrial punk. And so among other so first of all, it's super loud, probably the loudest show I've ever been to. Maybe that was just because of the confined space and the acoustics of the space. Maybe it's just because they just crank their stuff way the hell past 11. It was really, really loud, and probably I sustained hearing loss as a result. I can't have survived that show without injuring my eardrums to some degree. So there's that. They used instruments, they made instruments out of shopping carts. Using a circle sander was a part of their show where they would like use the sander on a piece of metal or the shopping cart or something, and it would spray sparks into the audience. There was a mosh pit in the audience. I mean, it's a tiny club, so like it would kind of be. I was away from the mosh pit as much as I possibly could, because if you were in the mosh pit, there were people that were spraying aerosol cans in the air, so you'd get like aerosol spray in your eyes. So again, like it just full on sensory assault, and the singer wore a football helmet with the microphone shoved into the face guard so that he could have his arms free so that he'd pound on various percussive instruments made out of various scraps of metal and shopping carts and other things. It was amazing and awesome and totally not something I would ever forget. Pretty much that's the thing. I guess the honorable mention for most memorable gig is seeing The Damned when I was in the UK on a study abroad trip. And what was notable about that, what made it most memorable, I was not a huge Damned fan prior to that show. I was sort of after. I really liked to enjoy the show, and I maybe want to get into their music more. But after the show, Captain Sensible, I was DJing. Me and another girl were DJing before and after the show, and he came up to me, Captain Sensible came up to me and requested Gary Numan's Cars. So apparently that's when Captain Sensible asks for something, and he asks for Cars by Gary Numan. I mean, that was a really, really easy request. I was expecting something far more obscure, but he wanted to hear he wanted to hear Cars. And I was totally down with playing some Gary Numan for Mr. Sensible. So those are the most memorable gigs I've been to. Talk about let's hear your most memorable or favorite gigs that you've been to in the comments down below. Thanks.